In my LEGO project series, made up of 7 episodes, I will show my designing of an Alexander Dennis Enviro 400 MMC being built from scratch, including building the template model used as a design guide for the main LEGO model. Included in the episodes are footage, all of which I've taken, are footage of the real Alexander Dennis Enviro 400 MMC double-decker bus model, on which my LEGO model is based on. The episodes will also include my building of the template model, the designing process of the main model, the final assembly of the main model, and a small tour around my collection of 80 plus LEGO vehicle models. The scale I use for my LEGO vehicle models are approximately 1:30, and for the weight synchronisation, 117 grams equals a metric ton. This is to give a proportional weight sensation with my models. I have used this dimension scale and weight scale from about 2012. Occasionally I will conduct a staged LEGO vehicle crash, which will be used as a kind of crash test assessment. When one of my model LEGO models are due for destruction to make way for new models, instead of taking it apart by hand, I use a makeshift stock car racing arena for me to reenact the banger racing destruction derbies, like the real motorsport stock car banger racing events that I regularly attend. There is some of my footage I've taken of these real events shown in this introduction, alongside my LEGO model destruction derbies. I do these for my entertainment instead of just taking it apart by hand the mundane and boring way. I am a big fan of stock car banger racing after all. One of my LEGO models can last anything from a couple of years to well over 10 years. If you're wanting to see my YouTube videos I made using footage I've taken of the real banger racing events that were shown in the introduction to this episode, then I've included links in the description to this episode. I have also included links in the description to some of my other LEGO YouTube videos I made as well. Thanks for selecting my videos, and I hope you enjoy them all. In this episode E3, you can watch the final assembly of my main Alexander Dennis Enviro 400 MMC double-decker bus LEGO model. Today's the day of the final build for the Enviro 400 MMC, my LEGO version, based off the template model, and I've got everything to sub-assemble the components, which I ran through yesterday on the other video. So I'm just going to focus this video on the final assembly. I've chest mounted the camera to myself, so I'm going to set it at 0.7. I thought about doing it this way, but I prefer doing it on the chest mount so you get a closer up view, and I'm going to set it at 0.7, zoom in. So when I put it on my chest, it'll be at that distance away, and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So the procedures are, I'm going to take the components of the chassis and have the bare chassis frame ready to mate up with the floor plan. So I'm going to compress it up, squeeze everything up, make sure all level, everything's all level, all the joints and Legos are all connected properly. Connect it up to the floor plan with pressure, and then I'll start building the bodywork. Build the bodywork upwards. Once the bodywork's done, I'll then turn it on its roof upside down, and then I'll add all the chassis components, engine, axles, blah blah blah, etc. All the auxiliaries, all the running gear, all the components, they get fitted onto the chassis. And of course the ballast as well. That will be get put on the underside. So the first task for me is to disassemble this chassis, remove all the components I put on as a trial run or a demonstration run yesterday, and get it back down to its bare frame. So I'll record that with the chest mount camera now. Oh, hopefully this won't wobble about too much. Unfortunately you'll hear me breathing, coughing and etc, but that's just how it goes. The camera's fixed right on my chest. Hoping you can see a lot clearer what I'm doing. So first things I'm going to do is take off the induction representatives, the air induction air filler representatives, and I'll move the mechanical components up there. Then I'll take off the cooling pack, oil cooler, transmission cooler, radiator cooler, etc. Cooling pack representative comes off there. I'll move that there. Then I'll move this auxiliary component. Then I'll remove the exhaust treatment component, SCR or JCR, whatever the heck it is, SCJ or SGS, I can't remember off the top of my head, but whatever, the exhaust treatment selective catalytic converter system's coming off. Then I'll remove the top mount, transmission, gearbox mount. Now I've got tools like other Lego that I could use to assist in moving the parts without digging my nails and fingers into it, so that helps. So the bracket comes off. It's just the other bits of Lego that I use to help assist. I've got an official Lego remover tool as well. Could have that there just at hand. Now, to remove the engine, if I remember right, it lifts up on. I've got a bracket there, well actually with a transmission. Prop shaft. Representatives to come off. It's not as easy when the bodywork's off because the chassis needs the bodywork for strength as well. And we'll have the mechanical components fitted to the chassis. Ah, come on. Hope this won't start giving me problems because I'm recording it. Right, that's differential prop shaft representatives off. And I'll just push the engine down. Should lift off the mountains. Yep, it does. Power unit, engine transmission power unit removed. Then I've got the auxiliaries. These are marker memories. They double up as auxiliaries, components, and markers. So I remember where to put the components that fit onto it. Not bolt on, but would bolt on if it was real life, of course. This is a bit tricky, I remember that was the last thing. The thing with Legos, if you put a lot of pressure on certain parts, it just goes flying. Bits go flying. You're concentrating force on one wee bit of Lego, just the bits will explode upwards and go flying. I've had that before, it's a pain in the arse. Now, it's a half axle assembly with suspension representatives. Airbag representative there, that's cylindrical bit. I've got pictures and videos to remind me to refer back to, should I need to if I get lost in anything. Although I did design it, so a lot of it's from memory, but if I need a reference, I could just refer back to it. Excuse me, coughing. Tell you what, I'm no longer in my bed, so I'm just still waking up here. Now, I'll remove I'll leave these brackets there for now because they're not really going to pose a problem. It's tricky with this one because the fuel tank is incorporated with part of the axle representatives. So it does make it a bit awkward, but I'll get it off. Without breaking it. Right. It's front axle, steering gear, all that stuff. all the representatives are in there, power steering, auxiliary components. So no, that's the front axle, the fuel tank, representative, transponder representative, with the memory markers here. It's double up as auxiliary components like air valves, stuff like that, dump valves, that kind of shit. Another front auxiliary, that could be power steer, hydraulic oil cooler, the misters, that kind of stuff. Battery, I'm going to move that, positive, negative. It's a side fit bracket. So that's basically the bare metal, or representing the metal framework with the chassis. So when it comes to final build, I've just got to make sure all this is all firmly pressed, fitted on, all the Lego is pressed on properly, clamped on, squeezed on, so it's all tight. The axles go across here, which locks this joint, makes it strong and rigid. So all the running gear components are here, engine, rear and auxiliary, so I'll keep all that kind of together there. It's engine stuff, engine bracket, rear axle stuff. Front axle stuff we could probably put there for now, little front overhang stuff. I'll just move that up there for now. Right, so the task now would be to clear a space. Just push these lower deck seats out the road. Give myself a bit of working space. Chimney and engine cabs will bustle, I'll move that out of the road. Floor pan. First task would be to get the chassis fixed to the floor pan. Married up to the floor pan, whatever you want to call it. In the car trade, when they build cars, it'd be the body in white married up with the mechanical gear. For the bus trade, it's chassis, bodywork, it's just either integrated, integral, built by the same manufacturer in the same factory, or separate chassis and separate bodywork. Chassis built in a different factory, bodywork built in a different factory. Bodywork bolted to the chassis, and it's coach builders that do that. Chassis builders do the running gear, the framework and all the rest of it. So my model, the chassis, is meeting up with the floor pan. So I haven't press fitted it yet, because I'm going to just check the files in this video, see how well it came out before I actually start the final build. That's everything down to its components anyway. So I'll give you a wee overview of that before I start. I'll check to see how this quality's come up. I'm just going to work with it the way it is anyway, and just going to have to basically get on with it and just hope for the best that it comes out okay for the video, because I don't have all day and I just, as I say, it's for my own records primarily, so I can refer back to it. And I'll share it on YouTube because it's suitable for going online. There's nothing here that I don't want to be seen on YouTube. And I want to share my model building with you as well, so I'm just going to crack on with it now. I'll quickly show you all the components and its sub-assemblies. So that's the front overhang, front axle assemble components, rear overhang and rear axle components, driver cab components, vandal screen, instrument panel, digging machine, passenger door, front and rear overhang, lower skirt panels with bonnet in the centre with bonnet catch, where the bonnet fits to, wiper representatives, framework, floor pan, lower deck, lower deck seating, all the panels that go between that and above the hoppers, it's engine bustle, chimneys, rear engine cover and encapsulation, assembled component, mid deck, or the upper deck floor, lower deck roof, and you've got the interdecking, which is the inner, that's the lower deck inner roof, with the light representatives go along there. I'll make sure they're all lined up before I reassemble it. Above the passenger door, above the driver's cab. All the pillars, window pillars, are uprights for supporting the lower and upper decks together. On the supporting upper deck. That's the bits that go over to the cross structures, run across the width of the intermediate deck, intermediate floor, and then got interdecking, which got the cavities, which would have been available for ballast should you need it. But the underbelly ballast tank, which is wheel based, and there's not much ballast required because the interdecking has added weight and it's added strength to the bodywork. And the model only being 10.8 metric tons, times that by 117 grams for the actual grammage. For the given the size of the model, it's a wee bit shorter than Gemini. It does actually make it easier to weigh. The Gemini is a heavy model at 12.25 ton, just over. So I had to put more ballast in. Because for Lego, obviously, the Lego density is the same, and it's only just 1 dot wider, a foot longer. There wouldn't be enough Lego to increase it that much, so I had to add more ballast, but I've done it no bother. Upper deck roof assembly with the pillars, cross beams going across, and it's got plating going there to make it very rigid. So this is a very rigid structure, it's strong. So the panels are just, the pillars are just not connected up at the moment, they're just there, just to keep everything together. Staircase assembly, bulkhead, and the staircase just goes in like such. So I know they want to take too long demonstrating all this, I just want to get on with the build. Just briefly showing you, there's lots of upper deck and seating, probably been through all this before. Right, so time to go on with the build. This is it, the day of the final build, final assembly. Right, so I've not really warned anybody that I'm doing a video, so I may have to pause it just to let them know. When I come down here, I may have to pause this. Right, I'm going to just get on with it. I'm not going to waste any more time. So, first thing I'll do is check the frame, make sure everything is tight. It's all complete, everything's, no bits missing. So that's all good. The floor pan will be flimsy because it's not got a frame underneath it to give it any rigidity, any strength. So I can't pressurise, put pressure on that. So I'll turn that upside down and you get the frame in situ. So this is where the frame meets the floor pan. So I've got to line it up, make sure it's all in the right position. They are. And now I'm going to apply considerable force to connect all that up. It's all level. So I will be careful how I do that, because if I push down on the wrong part, push right through it and break it. Or if you push down on the wrong bit with Lego, some bits could just go flying because of the pressure you've applied to it. Causes the bits to explode basically and go everywhere, and it's very annoying. I've done that many times, and I've had to go and crawl about the floor looking for the bits and having to remember how to reassemble it. Not nice, don't want to do that, so I'll be careful when doing it. Now the floor assemble is much more rigid because the frame is attached to the chassis. So I'm just going to make sure. And just as I suspect, everybody wants to come downstairs now, right in the middle of the recording. It never fails. I'm recording again. Right. I said recording again. Yep. Just watch for any music and that. Right, so that's me back on recording again. As I said, so it's a lot, it never fails. Quiet until you need it most. I think it's noisy. No, never mind. Anyway. So that's the framework attached to the floor pan. It's all evenly compressed on. Make sure it's everything, centre bits are all on firmly and not. It's not the first time I've done a final build and disassemble it, because of a mistake. Highly likely because in this one I'm actually recording it and talking to you at the same time. Whereas before, I built many models, well before I done YouTube. I didn't really do any talking. I just got on with it. I wasn't filming it either. Less prone for mistakes. There's only one video that I've done before. It was Alexander AV type Volvo Wilshire chassis. It's on my channel. Same idea, I had the camera strapped to my chest and final build it. But with this model I've gone in a lot more detail, could have showed you the template and the design features of the main model, including the assembly. And I'll have a little parts to this as well. Part series, I'll show you a sort of parade of all my Lego models. Either do that in the introduction or something, I don't know. Well, and I'll also show you what I do with the old ones when it comes to my Lego stock car banger racing representative, or reenactment would be the better choice. It was a reenactment, it's what I do, a Lego version of it. It's better than just taking it apart and boring away. Have a bit of fun with it, and I see how strong it fare up in the collisions. Use that knowledge for making it stronger in future models. Or so I say. It's more for fun. But no, I do learn. I'm fascinated to see how they come apart. I like watching the old bangers and I like watching my Lego bangers. And I do learn, see what bits are, how they fare up in a collision. Right, so that's the chassis fixed to the floor pan bodywork. Next thing is to add, because it's got a nice flat base to sit on, there's no problems with that because I've got pictures, so they won't really be a problem. I need to add the seatage and all the interior components. I might even add this in as well, the rear engine bustle. I'll do that now actually. So I'll fit that on, it's quite easy. Before I actually fit that on, I'll just check, make sure everything's okay with it. It's all secure, everything's tight, it's all lined up. Chimneys are clear. Induction and radiator. I call them chimneys because they've got the vents there, the gas, well, it's just the would-be gases if it were real life and air flow for cooling. Just acts a bit like a chimney. I think they're officially called chimneys in the real life trade anyway, in the bus industry, and they build them for that reason. But for obviously being Lego, it's just got their Lego component representatives in there. Because with Lego, it's not going to have any means of any moving parts. You do techno Lego, but I don't have that. I work with this type of Lego, I always have. Now, that's the rear engine bustle. And unfortunately, you're not really seeing my hands. To think of a better way you could see more. To bear in mind, this is recording, I'll try and show you what I'm doing. So I've got to kind of keep this down lower in front of the camera so you could. It's convenient for me to lift it up, but unfortunately you won't see. You won't really see very well. Right, okay, so rear engine bustle, capsule, ensemble, encapsulated because the engine's in there. I think the next move will be to put the rear seating and the lower deck seating in. Or would I? Actually, no. I'll change my mind on that. I'll put the staircase assembly in. Start with the bulkhead. So they go in like such. So that fits on. It's really successful. It's all connected up. It's all on tight. Every bit's fitted on right. So that's what we're up this stage already. Try and show that. But this camera hopefully has a better stability for the camera, you know, for movement. So it's more like a GoPro. The other one tends to move more. as I move, the picture moves, but this camera's more of a stabiliser on it, so I'm using S20 for this. The only downside with this one is the battery isn't very good. Not as nearly as good as the A12. So if I have to use a charger, then that means there's a bloody wire going to be connected to this as well, which is a bit restrictive. But aside that, anyway, let's go on here. So, staircase. That will fit in here. This is an easier version. Some of the staircases I've done in double deckers have been a lot more complicated setup than this. I've had experience to and Lego availability to make it easier. Now, rear seats, lower deck. Well, first, before I do is I'll just check, make sure all the seats are all good. Colour coded, orange bit in the centre, orange backs, blue seats. I don't know if that went on very well. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like it went on good, so I'm going to have to fit that on as well. So I'll just compress that on. Yeah, that'll be alright. Right, this is back record. Yeah, sorry, yeah, okay, so rear seats are on. Now we've got the wheel arch seats. Obviously, in this case, it's just wheel arch seat representative. Sorry. Now, I've got to remember how this goes now. Is it 2? I think there's a gap of 2. Yeah, I think it is. Gap of 2 between the back seat and the... So they're on firmly. Orange bits in the centre. Now I've got the near side seating, which will be those ones, because the bracket's got to go on the end, the back bit of this orange bit, leaving a space of 1. Based off the seat plan of the Rio bus, of course. Being raised slightly at the back because the floor raises up on the Rio model, on the Rio bus. Whereas on mine I've just got to use the representative method of doing it. So I've just raised the seats further on the runners, behind the brackets. Now it's seating done. And then you've got the fold up seats to go next. So before I do, I'll make sure they're on tight and firm. Then the fold up seats, which are represented by those. Space of 1. And I've got the near side one, sits there. Then I've got the wheelchair backing, which sits there. And I've got the front passenger seat with the angle. It says actually a double seater in the real life model, but on this I've angled it so it doesn't cause an obstruction for the aisle. But it's just going to be a single seater in my model. So the driver's delight, because me being a bus driver, I'm not overly keen on having a seat right there looking over into the cab. It's just my personal view on it. I'd rather it wasn't there. I'd rather, like the old bus, and it was just a whole luggage compartment and the passengers were further back. That's just my, and I think a lot of them tend to like that idea that not having a seat there is a good idea. But it's just for getting as many passengers in, because you're driving there all day long, you've got a passenger right there. So every time you look in the mirror, you're seeing the passenger. You know that somebody looking or able to look right down into your cab. I don't personally like it, but I don't mind. I get used to it. But I've got to build it in my model because it's based off the real life model. So it's not a seat that I would like to see there, but never mind. You get used to it. It doesn't really bother me after you're used to it. Been on the buses 15 years, you get used to it. Just that you get a feeling you're being watched all the time. You know, somebody looking over your shoulder, that kind of feeling. The old single deckers were worse because I had the seat actually facing that way. So we were actually facing into the cab, more or less. Well, it was in the Volvo B10 BLEs. The Volvo B10L didn't have that. I had a seat right behind the driver, but it was partitioned with the driver partition. You know, the actual compartment, so you couldn't see in. And on the Scania models that were the 2010 Scanias, they'd smoked glass there, but plastic perspex. You were actually able to see the end. Wasn't keen on it, but there was a coat hanger on the back, so I just put my coat on. Blocked the view that way. Anyway, never mind that. Coming off the subject. I've been a bus spotter for 35 years, since I was 12 officially, so I know all about buses. I know about all the seatings and seating arrangements. I like to learn about the technical side of it, so I use that knowledge and apply it into my Lego models, based on research that I do as well. I've always been interested in the mechanical side of things. Tayside buses, it's the ones that I grew up with, because I've lived in Dundee all my life. And it was the Tayside buses that got me into buses, Volvo Elsa models. This is far distant from the Volvo Elsa. The only thing that's in common with that is the bodywork being built in the same factory, the Alexander body. Oh, it's merged with Dennis, it's Alexander Dennis Limited now, whereas before it was Walter Alexander. Right, so enough blethering, back to assembling. So, driver instrument compartment, driver instrument representatives. So enough talking, and back to work. I could give you a rundown on it later once I've completed the model, because if I yap to you too much, I'm likely to forget something or make a mistake. So I'll just let the video do the talking. I'll let the video do all the explaining rather. That's hopper stroke, bracket stroke, whatever representative could go there. Driver vandal screen, stroke door. Strathday buses didn't have that at one time. The rural bus operator, they didn't have vandal screens. Didn't have ticket machines either. It was cash handled, and no vandal screen. But they did have conductors on some of them, but not all of them. And they went out in the country at night without a vandal screen, with cash. Carrying cash, because they handled cash. Whereas the city buses had vandal screens and a hopper. No change given, all cash went in the hopper, so you couldn't get the money from it. But they had a vandal screen and a radio, and I believe that the Strathday ones didn't even have a radio. And they went on the rural in the middle of the night. That was during the 80s. I always wondered that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right, that's all the lower deck stuff added. What now? I suppose I should concentrate on getting the interdecking done for the upper deck floor roof. So, immediate deck or intermediate decking. Interdecking and intermediate deck. This is intermediate deck with the cross rollers, reinforcements. Sorry, and burping at the same time because I'm drinking Pepsi Max. Right, so what am I doing now? I'm just going to make sure everything's all assembled up tight. Destination blind representative, clear glass front. There's a lot more glass in the modern buses, so I've got to use something to render it. And rear destination blind, it's wider on the AV and the Enviro 400s. It tells you the destination and the number, whereas the earlier ones just told you the route number on the rear blind. But the Enviros, or Emeralds as we call it, for the Dundee ones because of the colour scheme. It's got the full width destination blind on the rear. Oops, I pushed down on that too hard. Sure. So there's not any support there. There's no support there until the interdecking's in. So I've got to be careful. All the seat brackets, which is them, are on the right place. As you say, for an example, the seat has got to be firmly fit in the same manner. The bracket goes at the back of the seat on this side, orange side goes in the aisle. So all the runners are in place. Make sure they're all level, fitted right. Front panel, inner panel, the vent representative just at the front of the banister. It's all range all level, fit on. So that's all good to go. There isn't any compartment that's covered, and it's in its sub-assembly, so I can see everything. I can see all, when all was fitted correctly and securely. Next task is to add the interdecking, or the inner ballast. Interdecking. Intermediate decking is this, and interdecking, which is this. That's how I term it with my Lego models, and that's what I'm going to refer it to. Before I do the inner lights, make sure they're all lined up, because these are all individual clear. Just make sure there for one moment, a horrible moment, I thought it wasn't recording, it was on pause. It's not the first time I've done that, and it's very annoying. I thought I'd been recording and I've been on pause. So I'm just checking every now and again to make sure that I haven't accidentally knocked it on pause or it's going off or anything. That's so irritating. It's happened before. Don't want that happening on this. Don't want it happening at all, period. Right, interdecking done. So the space is there for the runners. This fits on like such. Oh, does it? Hang on a minute. Yeah, it does. There we go. So as you know from earlier, these here are the supports for the panels. So they don't push back. You'll see that when we get to that stage. No ballast required because the weight's fine. So it's acting as a body stiffener and it's acting as an inner roof panel with line. So let's press it on. We do it on a uniform method so it doesn't. If you push down on one side too much, it'll just work and the bits will explode. It's happened before. Because there's a slight flex in Lego. It's springiness. Not springiness, but if you flex it enough, it will, and it'll just ping. And as I say, I put pressures on the wrong parts and bits, it went flying. I've had to rebuild it, and it's from memory. It's bloody annoying. It takes ages. I really don't want to do that. So I've got to be careful how I press down on the. So I lift it up because it's easier for me to do that, but unfortunately I forget. I'm just recording, I want to show you that. Right, it's coming on. Still recording. It's still recording. Yep. Just on the upper deck. Right, where am I now? Let me sure all these brackets are on. Right, 4 brackets. If you want, wait, hang on, microphone that. But if the door's shut, it should be fine. Yeah. Shouldn't be much longer anyway. Right, check these runners. Just keep the door closed and keep it down a bit. But music, just gives a knock on the door and I'll turn it off if you put music off the wait. Alright, that's fine. Okay, right. Light on. Kitchen, will be light. Yeah, right, where was I? Right. You might hear the wash machine spinning from time to time, just try and ignore that. Don't be distracted. Right, make sure that. So I'm right into alcove, so when it goes up and down the stair, you're going to hear the thumping. Again, just ignore that, because I'm right under the staircase. So you're going to hear, it'll sound like thunder, but don't be alarmed. It's not the house falling down. It does sound loud under here, because I'm in the alcove. It's just a wooden, well, it's stone, but there's also a wooden plasterboard that echoes the sound, you see. This is the bit, the interdecking that runs the gangway, passenger gangway, by the staircase, opposite the staircase rather, alongside it. So I've just got to press fit that on there. I'm going to press fit it on the right areas, because if I press fit on a hollow, it'll break right through. I've done that many times. Be careful not to do that. So it's all hollow there now. So you've got to know where to press. You've got to press fit on the cross beams where it connects up. Right, that's that on. What now? I've got to do the driver cab roof. Actually, I'll do the passenger door roof. I'll do that aside first. Line up all the lights. Light it better. Damn it, there's always something. I dropped one. Hang on. Yeah, I dropped one. Actually, I've done a different file as well, so it gives that file a break. We'll do the video in separate files. Sometimes it's right. If you've got one big file you need to do an edit, you've got to break that video, the main video. But if you do separate files, you've got more versatility in some cases, versatile to do things with it, as far as editing's going, in my experience, the way I do it anyway. Right, so that's on. Lined up, so it's the near side lighting. And this is above the driver's cab, so you got the monitors, stroke, exterior monitors, interior monitors, driver cab light, and just other auxiliary switches, the representatives for it. So a sample goes over there. Right. So that's all tight. So everything is on firmly. Through every one. Lights are all firm. The lights are in line. So once this is closed up, you won't be able to access it again. So now's the time to rectify any problems. Make sure everything's lined up. I'll just say once it's closed, that's it. So I've got to be really careful, make sure everything is done properly. That's intermediate decking done. Now I need to add the pillars. And I need to marry this up, and that's awkward because it's got to go over the staircase and the rear engine bustle, or engine cover, engine capsulate, whatever, chimneys. There's a lot of ways you could refer to it. So all the pillars here for the lower deck, make sure they're all lined, because they're single dot, which means they could rotate. Now, the technique I'll use to do this is I'll maybe put this on first and slip the pillars in underneath it. Now, this is really the awkward part. If it's all lined up, it should go on fairly easy. Well, the more lined up it is, the easier it goes on, basically. Every single Lego bit's got to be lined up. All these bits have got to. So if it's rigid and it's lined up, this is a nightmare. But it's something here that's causing it to vandal scheme. I knew that would happen. Now this is not uncommon. So this is maybe where I start cursing and swearing. Because this is not so much fun, but cursing and swearing. This must be the minimum time I've done that because I'm recording. Let's see what it's like when I'm not recording. You bugger, get in. Come on. Pain in the arse. No, that's just that bit there's just a wee bit out of line. Single dot. Now this takes absolutely bloody. I may have to pause this if it's going to keep this up. because I'm recording as well, I'm thinking of what I'm recording and it's not really focusing. That noise, by the way, is the wind, in case you're wondering. It's just howling through because the window's open. It's howling through the bits at the top of the door. There's windows at the top of the doors inside, and you get the wee gap. The wind blows through there, causing the howling sound. In case you wondered just what was going on, if you thought that was some sort of tornado or something. Jesus, cheesy peeps, come on! What the heck's going on with this? This is the most frustrating bit. Maybe when I put it the wrong way, I don't know. What's going on with this thing? I'll go in, it's just perseverance, patience, test patience. I have to pause this, this video will be taking ages. I'm fettling about with this at night, so I might have to just I'll just show you what it's like in real life. I'll just keep it recording and you'll know what I've got to, what I'm going through and what I went through to assemble it. Right, finally. A wee breather. It's just that I've got to watch the bump anything in the process when I'm doing that, you see. That's one of the hardest bits. Because you've got to line all that up. And the driver cab instrument, the driver cab door's got to be lined up as well. With the roof. All the chimneys. And then I've got pillars to slip in there. It's got to go in there as well. Oh, come on, it's a break. So, let's start putting these in. So, we're kind of like jack them up a little bit. Somehow slip them in there. It's not the best way of doing it. But, there's not really going to be another way of doing it. I don't fancy lifting all that off again just to put these in. I'd rather fettle along put them in. I'm going through all that hassle again. And I'll just make sure they're as square as I could get them. Because being a single dot, they could pivot on that dot. And they could rotate. And when it rotates, it looks a bit untidy. I'll show you what I mean. See, at the moment, it's in line. But if it starts rotating, it'll look like that. That looks untidy. I don't want that. It's because it's a single dot, I could pivot around. If it were obviously more than one dot, it couldn't rotate. But then if I had it wider than that, then it wouldn't look right. See, it rotates. It's a pain. Now I'll do the other side and I'll get on with the front. Adding the pillars. There's different ways to assemble a model, different ways of going about it, but I thought about it and I was choosing this method and doing it this way, so that's what I mean by exploding bits. That is just one of the most annoying things when you're doing Lego modelling. It's a real nightmare. You're flying everywhere and it damages the parts and the rest of the model. So, right, that's that one in. I think I might move it to this side. So we'll raise the front. More room to get the rest in. I'm going to be careful I don't knock anything off. Something's just making a noise. So maybe just that there. Right, okay. Now I did make sure all the matings all levelled, everything was all secure on the inner deck, lower deck, interior, furniture, if you like, seats, mats, panels, all the interior stuff, all that's secured. I have to make sure, because once this is closed up, then you really can't get back into fixing anything inside. It's very difficult. You've got to then put the long bits of Lego into, you know, as a tools, you know, work like this sort of thing and connect in that way, and that's just a nightmare. You can only do very limited amount of stuff like that. Anything major, they really got to open it all up again. Now on the front pillars, the windscreen, and this is really quite easy and prone for misalignment, because there's the flats as well, the window flats, 1x1 flats. I needed to do that so I could have the bracket there in the centre for the wing mirror or mirror monitor representative, that there. So you've got these 3 flats plus the blocks, so it's prone for twisting. However, it is quite easy to repair when it's on. Because it's so easy to move, it's easy to line up even when it's all pressured, you know, connected, pressed on. So this is quite difficult as well, because I've got to now finally align all these brackets, and that isn't always easy. There's been times where things have just kind of been pear-shaped, bits have exploded because it's not connected up right. See, like that seat's been upset. It's all got to be I get a feel for it when I know when things are going together well, and it seems like it's going together well. I can tell by the sound, I can tell by the feel of it that it's assembling good. And that is always good. And I'm going to make sure the driver's vandal screen door is connected up to the inner roof interdecking section, which it is. That was one of the hardest bits. So I'm just filming this in real time. I'm going to just play it back in real time. The other video I done was I sped it up. I sped the video up. On this one I'm not going to. I'm just going to play it in real time. Now that's, excuse me a minute. Oh, so too much gas. Believe you me, you didn't want to be sitting next to me or having smell-o-vision. So when you drink too much fizzy drinks and have stuff to eat. Not that you needed to hear that, but such a thing as smell-o-vision. Right, so I'll make sure all these pillars are all cough on camera, burp on camera, but don't fart on camera. Pause it. Right, oh, driver seat moved. It's easy enough to put back in. That's adjustable steering column. That's all done. Okay. Right, so that's probably one of the hardest bits done. I'll just make sure all the seats are not being upset, because there's enough aperture there, because the panels are removed above the windows. As you can see, they're just sitting over there, and as you know, there's reinforcements behind it to stop it from pushing in too easily. Being a top shelf quality model, what needs to be mid-shelf quality models don't necessarily require that, because it's built for more aesthetics than quality. The top shelf has to have the good aesthetics and have the quality and all the scales. You know, the scale weight's got to be right. Well, the scale weights are right on the mid shelves as well, but the quality's got to be good on the top shelf, as well as proper aesthetics. It's got to look right, or good for a my Lego representative of the model of the bus I'm building from, or based on. Right, that'll do for that. Oh, the one thing I did forget. See, it's fairly easy. It's the passenger door. How could I have forgot that? But because it's fairly easy, it's not too big a job to put in. Famous last words. There we go. That's it in. Passenger door in. Jeez, I nearly forgot. Too much yapping. Right. We're going to now put the upper deck flooring, the upper deck seating. I'll start with the back seat. Doesn't have any brackets because it needs to be lowered that wee bit. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop this recording so it makes it a smaller file. If you're wanting to see my YouTube videos I made using footage I'd taken of the real banger racing events that were shown in the introduction to this episode, then I've included links in the description to this episode. I have also included links in the description to some of my other LEGO YouTube videos I made as well. Thanks for selecting my videos and I hope you enjoy them all.